Hi, I'm Jezebel, firstcomicsnews.com, and we host of Geekopedia, and I am sitting here with Eric Bischoff.
Yes, you are.
I am. I'm so stoked. I'm a huge fan. And not that I necessarily have followed your career completely, but you were a major staple in my household in the early 90s. It was on every Monday and every Thursday. We were huge fans.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, so my mom was in love with you.
Your mom was in love with me?
My mom was in love with you.
Oh, you just broke my heart. I thought maybe you were in love with me, but your mom was in love with me.
You know,
thanks for making me feel older than dirt.
Sorry,
Whatever.
well, I was 12. I don't know what you want from me. You look fabulous.
Well, thank you very much.
So, I mean, you did a lot of stuff.
I did. Some of it phenomenal, some of it not so much, but I had a lot of fun. It was great. It was a great time in my career.
And you have a bachelor's of science in business.
No, I don't. That's that's Wikipedia bullshit.
Okay.
I went to college a couple times.
Sure.
But never graduated.
Okay.
And I think I was a liberal arts major.
Cool.
That was the only way I could get in.
I'm a 5-time college dropout in liberal arts myself, so.
All right, we have kindred spirit.
We do, absolutely. So I mean, did that hinder you in any way? How did you? Because I mean, I'm meeting doors all the time of oh, you don't have a degree, and in certain things, not other things, but how did you?
It really wasn't for me because, quite honestly, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, and I've probably spent the largest part of my life trying to create my own businesses.
Okay.
So the challenges I had nothing to do with my education. The challenges I had were the same challenges every entrepreneur faces: raising money, having enough funding, the ups and downs of the business world. But it's never been a problem for me.
And you so I mean, what do you? I noticed on your Twitter you're not quite political, but a little bit.
I'm very political.
Okay. Well, I've only seen a few of your videos.
I'm trying to tone it down.
Okay.
Because people that follow me because of my experience in entertainment.
Sure.
And they don't really want to hear politics out of me, so I try to discipline myself to keep it to a minimum. But I'm a very it's not so much I wouldn't say I'm a political person, but I'm very interested in current events.
Sure.
Part of that was, growing up here in Detroit, actually, I had a teacher in 3rd and 4th grade by the name of Mrs. Fields. And she really got me interested in current events at a very, very early age. And I had her again in the 8th grade, right after, actually she was my current events teacher, social studies teacher, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. And immediately after that, she took us to Greenfield Village and took us to see all the history there of Greenfield Village. But what stood out in my mind is Abraham Lincoln's chair, the chair that he was sitting in when he was assassinated was there. And Mrs. Fields was able to correlate racism, the things that were going on at the end of the Civil War with what was happening in America in the late 60s. And that's when current events and politics really became a strong interest of mine.
I feel that we don't have enough of that. Our education system, we kind of just blur out stuff and teach them stuff and put nothing into context.
Well, we're not really teaching them anything. We're telling them things.
Fair.
They're memorizing things, and a lot of what's being taught in public schools is so sanitized and politicized that real history isn't really being taught. It's revisionist history is what's being taught. And that's, I think, the real fear, because if you don't understand history, you're almost certainly going to repeat it. But if you're able to understand it and contextualize it and talk about it and discuss it, more likely than not, it won't be repeated. That's not what's happening, unfortunately, today.
Well, I mean, if you look at the history of humanity, every civilization that has ever risen has fallen. So we don't, I feel we have a certain population, and we don't know how, the economic system doesn't know how to compensate for humans exponentializing.
Well, I think that's probably part of it, and I think there's every aspect of our culture that's, in my opinion, is on a trajectory for some pretty bad shit to happen. Just look at the way we treat each other, look at the way we judge each other, look at the way we look at how divided our country has become. I remember when I was a kid again in grade school, junior high, high school, reading about how in the Civil War, families turned against each other, brothers against brothers, and it was like, wow, how could that have ever happened? But right now, in this environment that we're in, I have good friends of mine that if they find out, my political view on something, they completely isolate me, and they no longer want to associate with me. And the same thing happens with families in some cases, and it's really unfortunate. People have just forgotten how to become or to be social with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right on, sister. Right on.
So I'm running for president.
Are you really?
Yeah. I have over 1,200 confirmed votes.
We got a ways to go, but
I do.
Come on, have help.
Well, okay. So, but I mean, that's all from one-on-one talking to people. That's not. I don't have money. I'm not campaigning. I don't feel like we should be able to buy our way into presidency.
I'm with you.
So whatever. We'll see. Just for prez. It's a thing. Let me ask you a question. Hypothetically speaking, if I was the president of the United States and I came to you and I offered you a position on my cabinet and said, if you could change one thing, what would you do?
Wow. Well, that's a big question. I would probably change, so much needs to be changed, but I would probably focus on the things that mean the most to me individually, and it would probably be the education system. Because without a great education system, without well-adjusted and well-socialized children who then become well-educated and well-socialized adults, there is no future. So I would probably harness all of my focus and point towards that.
I think we should teach we had to start young with socialization and learning or teaching them how to view each individual person as an individual. And I don't think we recognize that. Humans in general learn things and we categorize things, and that's just how we navigate the world. It's by categorizing things. And I just don't know. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Whatever. No, we don't really know how to look at people as individuals.
Well, we're trained to judge.
Yeah.
And we're trained to divide. And it happens in fashion. It happens in music. It happens with food. It happens with high school football teams, college football teams, and sports. We're conditioned to compete and divide and sequester ourselves in familiar foods. And I think, that's fine. That's a part of our culture and a part of humanity to a certain degree, but I think it's gone a little bit too far.
If there was one thing that you would want people to know, which they may not, what would it be?
About what?
However you interpret that question.
Oh, the one thing I would want people to know is that there is a God. You want me to come up with something better than that?
No.
That's a good one, really.
It is. Well, I don't know. So what are you doing? What are you doing? You got any projects? What do you do with your day? On a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, I'm still an entrepreneur. I have a television production company. I have a couple television projects in development with a couple different networks. I'm working on two, actually, feature film scripts right now. That's almost more of a hobby than it is a career, but I enjoy doing it. I've got a web-based digital platform that I'm developing with a group of folks. I got a lot of stuff going on. It's just always been my life. I always have 25 different irons in the fire.
That's impressive.
I don't know. It's a burden.
Sure.
My mom and dad used to get on me all the time. There's so many irons in the fire. Pick one. Excel at it. I always got bored with that.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stuff going on.
Well, how do you feel about you've been known in the world for a very long time, and how do you feel? Is it different? People coming up to you, 20 years ago, and people that are coming up to you now that saw you 20 years ago.
Yeah, it is different. I'm older, they're older, and I think when I come to events like this, Comic-Con event, people want to talk about the fond memories they had of watching, the product when they were kids and what it meant to them and how important it was in their lives. And I'll tell you one really quick story. It's really cool. couple of weeks ago, I was at a Comic-Con in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was hosting a panel. And a young lady, probably in her late 20s, early 30s, got up and she told me this very heartwarming story about how she used to watch professional wrestling with her dad when she was younger. She was a kid. That was the one thing that her and her father bonded over, was watching wrestling on Monday nights. And she got a little teary-eyed telling me the story, and I could tell it meant a lot to her. And she was speaking in front of probably 1,500 people, and they were all listening to her talk, which made her nervous. And fast forward, I find out that her father had passed away. She was getting married, and is getting married. And because wrestling was such an important part of her relationship with her father, and her father had passed away, and she was kind of worried about not having anybody to walk her down the aisle, she asked me to stand in for her father. See, it's going to make me cry right now. So that's the kind of thing that sometimes happens. And, you know, wrestling, whether it's music, whatever it is, when you share it with somebody that's important to you, you look back on it fondly, and situations like this. Like I said, people like to share that. I think it's really important.
I don't know. So I wasn't very. I'm kind of one of those people that kind of just off the cuff.
That's all right.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the pizza I'm going to have for dinner tonight.
Excellent.
That's about it.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. Well, I think thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
My pleasure.
And
good luck on that presidential thing.
thank you.
I'll be looking for you.
See ya.